So, welcome to Scale Modelling Wiki. On this one, we're going to be looking at ejector marks, injection pin marks on models. Now, at this moment in time, I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see these, but if we bring this a little bit closer, and you'll see here, here, and around here, the ejector marks, the small circles, they're in the plastic and they are recessed. And these are caused during the injection moulding process, where basically pins are used to separate and pick out the moulds, and if the plastic's a little bit soft, you get these ejector marks. Normally kit manufacturers these days are pretty good at choosing where these are going to be, so they're in places that are not visible and will not cause a problem for you during the modelling process. So in the instance of these, unless you're opening up the fuselage, you're never going to see this one, so it's not necessarily something you want to worry about. This one probably isn't going to be visible, as is in these, but in some kits they are, and I'm just using this kit as an example to show you how we deal with these. Now these are all recessed, which is an advantage, because what we're going to use to fill these is a product called Mr. Dissolve Putty, which personally is my favourite. There are other things you can use to do this. I use this because it's just a very simple process, and it just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of patience. And if these sink marks, ejector marks, are in areas that are visible on your model, they're really going to show up when you paint, and it's going to detract from what is otherwise going to be a very, very nice model. So we'll just show you how to fill these in. It's a little bit more of the preparation before you start building a kit, but hey, this kit's going to sit on your shelf. You want to be proud of it. So take a little bit of time. It's all worthwhile in the long run. So this stuff lasts forever. And it's very easy to use. It is liquefied putty. So just go like this, give it a quick bit of a stir, and you'll see its consistency. It is liquid, and it sets very, very nicely. The one thing I will say is, as we're doing this, and I'm going to be filling up ones that aren't going to be visible, because I said I'm just demonstrating how we do this, is work on the principle that this stuff is going to settle as it dries. So whilst you're not looking to plaster it all over the inside of the model, don't be worrying about putting a little bit more than you think you need in the hole. And this is just with a toothpick. Make sure it fills up all around the edges. And there we go. It is that simple. Now, it says we're quite lucky with these ones because, as I said, they're not really visible, but it says I just wanted to show you on occasions where you do have a kit where they are visible, how you can deal with them. Now at this stage, you've now got lots of nice liquid putty sitting on the side of your kit, and then you've literally got to put it to one side and leave it to set. I'm in no particular rush, so I'm going to leave this one for 24 hours. But it says at this stage, you can see how quick it was to do that. The holes are filled, and all we've got to do is leave it to dry. Okay, so now the putty should be hardened, and we will now start to clean up these marks to see how it is. Just using a simple flexi file. A small one fits in better. So if you're going into really tight spaces, you can just cut these into small bits and use them with a pair of tweezers. But just now to start to get the right direction and start gently working on the area, not pressing too hard. This is a sponge sander, and if you press it a bit too hard, you could actually end up pushing down into the hole you filled. It's just one of the joys of working with sponge sanders, but just keep going at it lightly. And as you see, slowly but surely, you're going to be left with just the area that was the sinkhole. And as you slowly, surely sending away, so you get a pretty good idea very rapidly of when to stop sanding. So one of the problems you see we're getting here already is this is a bit too long. It's rubbing along there. So what we've got to do really is quite simply got a small piece. Then we go in that space. A lot easier. So gradually we're working this down. So I wouldn't use anything heavier than about 600 grit, but you could end up scratching the area around, and then you're going to have to polish all that out as well. So just keep slowly going away. There we go. One filled hole. Just for a final check, once you've done all the others, I spray a little bit of primer over it. It'll show if I've got anything wrong. It could be a little bit too high, or I may have taken out a little bit too much. If anything on this one, probably just need a little bit more of a tidy up, but I think that one's probably going to be just about right. But we'll put some primer on and check it. And as we said, final check. Spray over a little bit of primer. I used thin down Mr. Surface of 1500. Provides a very thin layer. It's really quite good at showing up any imperfections. And there we go. That's looking okay to me. A bit better when I've edited it and zoomed in, so we've got a closer look. I hope that was useful. We'll keep trying to do these. Hope you find the benefit. Let us know by subscribing or liking the video and commenting. Feedback is always appreciated. Many thanks.